So we got another unscripted video here, another unplanned video here, because something interesting happened. For a while now, Capcom has been teasing this upcoming minigame free DLC for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. And so everyone's been really excited about that. People have been speculating, like, ooh, what could it be? You know, obviously what I wanted and what the obvious one was, like, oh, they're going to put out Mercenaries, because that's what they did for Resident Evil 4 Remake. Like, that came out 2 weeks after launch. And then some people were also thinking, you know, oh, they said you got to finish the story mode. So, like, why would they say that? Oh, my God. Could it be like a honk mode? I don't know if I believe that honk mode rumor at all. That was some cope. But it came out today. Shadow dropped, which is a strong term for, you know, what it is, called Leon Must Die Forever. Which, when I read about it, I was like, okay, so it's Leon Must Die, it's Ethan Must Die. And that was a decent mode. That must be kind of interesting. So let me look at some gameplay. I look at some gameplay of it. It's literally just the story mode. It's literally just all of Leon's story mode missions strung back to back with some basic roguelike elements pasted on top of it. It took out the normal upgrade system, and instead you get some roguelike elements. They don't even bother to take out Leon's normal dialogue. The IGN video on this, it's in the enemy placements also are exactly the same based on the few minutes that I watched. It's exactly the same as playing through the game on normal difficulty, with Leon saying all the same shit he would say in the story mode. And I'm just dumbfounded by this. Like, this is a new level of laziness for Capcom, frankly. And so I wanted to discuss this because Capcom is this fascinating company where, on one hand, they are great recently. You know, people are calling them Cap God, where they're recently putting out like these banger after banger. You know, the Resident Evil 2 remake, the Resident Evil 4 remake, you know, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil 9. Now we got Pragmata, Onimusha, Street Fighter 6. Like, we got all these banger after banger games, right? With, you know, the occasional misfire of Resident Evil 3, okay? But then on the other hand, you do get those misfires, and you get really big misfires, in my opinion, like Resident Evil 3. And you get these really weird instances of they're not even going to try to support that game. They're not even going to try to fix that game. And they're going to try to package that game with a multiplayer mode that nobody wanted. And then they're going to do that again with they're going to do that with Resistance with Remake 3. And then they're going to do this RE-verse mode that nobody wanted that they're going to try to package with 8. Fail to do that, and then launch it a year after 8 comes out, by the time everybody's even fucking forgotten about it, even though you promised it with, and you sold it with Village. And then that flops, right? That fails. And then you're going to fucking put out shit like this for 9, which is your, like, I'm not sure if it has trumped 5, but it is one of the best-selling games you've ever put out, right? Sells a shit ton of copies, is incredibly popular, is taken over the internet, right? It has definitely made you bank, and you put out a garbage-ass mode that took you 3 months to develop that modders had working 2 weeks after the game came out, right? Meanwhile, I'm still waiting on all the costume fours for Street Fighter 6. Where are these costume fours for Street Fighter 6? You can't even develop a costume a month, right? You can't even stick to that basic schedule. And your character release schedule still doesn't make any fucking sense. You're still putting out 4 characters a year, and you can't even do it on a real, genuine, consistent, like, you know, every 3 months like you might expect, right? It's insane. I don't understand what's going on at Capcom, right? And then I guess there was Monster Hunter Wilds, or whatever the newest Monster Hunter was. I don't play Monster Hunter. That was not received perfectly either. That maybe had some technical issues. I just don't understand what's going on at Capcom, where on one hand they can be like just putting out absolute aces, banger, you know, Pragmata comes out, it has perfect performance, perfect gameplay, everybody loves it, unanimous, and then on the other hand, they put out something like Monster Hunter that has terrible performance. They can put out Resident Evil 4 Remake that has not only the free Mercenaries mode that launches 2 weeks after the game comes out, has plenty of content, the game itself is filled with content. And then they put out Separate Ways, which is an amazing DLC at an absolutely steal of a price for $10. And then Requiem comes out. I'm going to be honest, I feel like Requiem does not have very much content in it at all. And then they put out this bullshit 3 months after launch, despite the fact that they are rolling in cash right now. And I'm just really confused. Like, what the fuck are they doing? How hard is it to have given us what everybody wanted, which was Mercenaries, right? How hard would it have been to develop literally anything? Like, this this mode they put out should not have been a mode. This should have been patched into the game weeks after launch, or in my opinion, should have just been there on launch. The ability to, after you finish the game, play only through Leon sections, play only through Grace's sections, or maybe even just a chapter select, right? This should be a basic feature. This is not something that should have been patched in months after the fact and marketed as a mini game. This is not a mini game. This is the same game people have been playing for weeks or for months already, with some lazy ass roguelike elements slapped on top of it. It's crazy. And just because it's free, so I know some people are already going to say this, just because it's free does not mean it cannot be criticized. I don't, if you serve me some food, if you give me a free sandwich and it's an awful sandwich, I'm still obliged to tell you that it's an awful sandwich, right? This is trash. This is garbage. This is unacceptable. I would rather have paid $10 for a good mode, right, than to be given garbage that I already have as a PC player for free, right? There's literally no reason for me to play this at all. In fact, this update is probably counterproductive because all it's really going to do is break all the existing mods that people have already, all the hard work that modders have put into this game, much harder work than Capcom has evidently put into the game. All it's going to do is break all those mods, and it's going to add nothing of value, nothing of substance. And I just don't understand how this is consistently the case across so many games, but especially in this situation. How did this take them months to develop? Did they have like one intern being paid an experience working on this? How is it that one modder working on this for free in his free time for fun, how did he reverse engineer the code of the RE engine to figure out how to string together all of Leon's sections, and then a collection of modders managed to figure out how to individually, but then kind of figure out each other's code to get the mods working such that I could play through all of the game as Grace through only Leon sections with fully functional Grace outfit mods if I wanted to, right? In a matter of weeks, and certainly in a matter of less time than it took Capcom to put out this shitty-ass mode. What's going on? I don't understand, right? And so, if this is the free content we're getting, it makes me really worried about the quality of the paid DLC that we're getting. Because I was already concerned that it was going to be a Chris-focused DLC, and now I'm extra concerned about just the narrative direction it's going to take, and now I'm really concerned about the gameplay quality and the content quality of that DLC, because if this is the standard that they're setting, it's a low bar, it's a really low standard. The only explanation I can see for this mode is that it exists for console players, because console players don't have access to mods. But again, in my opinion, this should have just been something that people have had access to from launch. This should have been a setting. This should have been an easily accessible feature of the game, not a mini game that they patch in months after the fact. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not convinced anyone, if you still have a console at this point, I'm going to call you a casual gamer. I don't think anyone that takes gaming seriously, that gives a shit about gaming, plays on console. If you have an Xbox, you are the most casual gamer imaginable. You might be more of a casual gamer than mobile gamers, right? Because mobile gamers, they're probably playing like some Genshin Impact type shit. They're probably spending a lot of money, and they're probably really invested in their games. If you have an Xbox, you're a casual, okay? If you're not already playing Requiem on PC with all these mods, you're a casual. And you probably don't even care about this mode, right? So I'm just not sure who this is for. This is a complete waste of everyone's time. It's a waste of the time of the people at Capcom who did develop this, and it's a waste of my time as a consumer, who I'm not even going to bother playing this. It's literally meaningless to me. It adds nothing of value. This feels like a Bethesda product almost, where they put out an update and all it does is break the game, and it adds nothing of value because modders have already created this thing, months ago, years ago, however many times ago, right? It's pointless, and I just don't get it. So I'm just curious what's going on at Capcom. How do they have this amazing development pipeline that lets them put out these incredible AAA titles? Like, basically every year they put out something like this, of this quality. And then they can't even manage to get good DLC out consistently, right? We can't even get decent costumes for Street Fighter. We can't get more than 4 characters a year for Street Fighter. We can't get a decent, consistent launch schedule for Street Fighter characters. And when it comes to their best-selling Resident Evil game that took the world by storm, this is the best DLC they can offer us. Best free minigame they can offer us. I'm just real curious what the fuck's going on here. I don't understand. They really need to get their shit together when it comes to this. Because I don't think this is good support. This is literally a hype killer. The time it took to create something of this shitty quality is a buzz killer. It's a hype killer. I cared less about Requiem today than I did yesterday. And I already didn't care about Requiem yesterday because, the game came out a while ago. It didn't have much staying power for me. I just found, I'm just kind of disappointed, right? This DLC makes me sad. This minigame makes me sad. Good job, Capcom. You've made me sad.